I thought our marriage was a fairy tale. 10 years with Sarah, my college sweetheart, felt like a dream. We built a life together, brick by brick, filled with laughter, shared dreams, and what I believed was an unbreakable bond. We weren't just husband and wife. We were best friends, partners in every sense of the word. Our friends saw us as the perfect couple, the ones who had it all figured out. And for the longest time, I believed it too. Looking back, the signs were there, subtle at first, like tiny cracks in a perfect vase. Sarah started working late more often. Her phone, which used to be left on the counter, was now always with her, screen down. When I'd ask about her day, her answers became vague, just busy or tiring. I brushed it off. And we were both busy. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? This was Sarah, my Sarah. The distance grew. Our late-night talks were replaced by the glow of her phone screen. Our weekend adventures became quiet days spent in separate rooms. I tried to bridge the gap, planned date nights, suggested a vacation, anything to reconnect. The storm, however, was far bigger than I ever imagined. The truth came crashing down on a Tuesday evening, a day that started like any other. I had left work early, feeling a bit under the weather. As I pulled into our driveway, I saw a car I didn't recognize parked out front, a sleek, expensive sports car that didn't belong in our quiet suburban neighborhood. A knot of unease tightened in my stomach. I walked into our home, the home where we'd celebrated anniversaries and hosted countless family dinners. It was quiet. Too quiet. I called her name, Sarah. No answer. I walked toward our bedroom, and that's when I heard it. Laughter. A man's laughter, deep and unfamiliar, followed by Sarah's. My heart hammered against my ribs. I pushed the bedroom door open. Oh, and there they were. The image is burned into my memory, a scene of betrayal so profound it shattered my world in an instant. My wife, the love of my life, was with another man. In our bed, in our home. The initial shock was like a physical blow, knocking the air from my lungs. I couldn't speak, couldn't move. They scrambled, their faces a mixture of panic and shock. The man, a stranger in my home, looked at me with something close to pity before grabbing his clothes and rushing out. And then it was just me and Sarah. The silence was deafening, filled with all the words we couldn't say. The woman standing before me was a stranger. Her apologies, when they finally came, sounded hollow, like echoes in an empty room.
Oh my dad like that Every object I touched was a memory, now tainted. The coffee mug I bought her that said "World's Best Wife." The legal proceedings were cold and impersonal, reducing our decade of love and life into paperwork and legal terms. All those late nights at the office, the work trips, it all clicked into place, each piece a new stab of pain.
She had been living a double life, and I was the fool who didn't see it. Our friends were shocked. They tried to offer support, but what could they say? Their words of comfort couldn't mend the gaping wound in my life. I had to sell the house. I couldn't bear to live in a place haunted by memories of betrayal. Walking through those empty rooms for the last time was like attending a funeral for the life I thought I had. I saw ghosts of our past selves everywhere, laughing in the kitchen, watching movies on the couch, slow dancing in the living room. It was torture. I realized I had a choice. I could let this betrayal define me, let it turn me bitter and mistrustful. But slowly, I started to piece my life back together. Not the life I had, but a new one. I reconnected with old friends, threw myself into hobbies I'd let slide, and started focusing on myself for the first time in a long time. I learned a lot about myself during that time. I learned that I am stronger than I ever thought possible. I learned that my worth isn't defined by someone else's inability to see it. And I learned that even after the deepest betrayal, it is possible to find peace. My journey now isn't about looking back and asking why. The fairy tale ended, but my story didn't. This is just a new chapter, one that I get to write on my own terms. And for the first time in a long time, I'm optimistic about what the future holds. If you're going through something similar, please know you are not alone. The pain can feel all-consuming, but it won't last forever. Reach out to friends, family, or a professional for support. Healing is a journey, not a destination, and it's okay to ask for help along the way. Thank you for listening to my story. Please subscribe for more stories about life, resilience, and finding our way forward.